If you're looking how to beat Grandmaster Behemoth Battleground during episode Revenant of Destiny 2, then you came to the right place. Step 1, I'm going to show you exactly what builds you want to use based on the modifiers for this Nightfall. Step 2, we're going to show you exactly how to play the Nightfall, where to position, where to go, etc., etc. So step 1, modifiers to carefully consider with this one is we are going to have Famine, where all ammo drops are significantly reduced. Unlike the modifiers we've been having previously, stuff like Counterfeit and the Hunger modifiers, this is one that you don't really actively play into. It's just there, and it's a little bit annoying, and it is what it is. We've also got Barrier and Unstoppable Champions, and the beneficial modifier we have is Shot Caller, where landing multiple precision hits with a primary ammo weapon is going to empower your special and heavy ammo weapons, and in my opinion, a little bit more impactful, is going to reduce any incoming damage. It's going to give you a little bit of damage resistance. We also are going to have, no matter when you're watching this video, you are going to have a stasis surge. Depending on the week that you do this on, though, you are either going to have an arc surge or a void surge. Not really going to matter which, though, as you'll see why in a brief moment. As far as builds, you're going to see me playing the Warlock today, although I do have builds that I'm going to show you for Titan and Hunter. I just think the Solar Speaker Sight Healing Turret Warlock setup is probably the best build for Grandmasters period this entire episode. So you've probably seen this in my past guide videos a little bit. You're probably going to be seeing more of it. Speaker Sight, Song of Flame for the Panic Pop, Phoenix Dive to cure your allies, proc Ember of Benevolence, and give you Hellion. Touch of Flame so that your healing turrets, healing bolts that it spits out give you Restoration ×2 instead of the typical Restoration X1. Also going to go Ember of Torches, so that anytime we hit an enemy with our melee, our Celestial Fire for max range, make ourselves and everyone nearby radiant. Got Ember of Singeing, so that anytime we scorch targets, which our Hellion will do, we get increased class ability regeneration for more Phoenix Dives. Got Solace, so that our base Radiant restoration timers last a little bit longer. And the number one thing that you absolutely want to have, Benevolence. We're applying Restoration, Cure, or Radiant to allies, which Restoration comes from the Healing Turret, Cure comes from the Dive, and Radiant comes from Celestial Fire plus Ember of Torches. It's going to give you significantly increased ability regeneration for all 3 of your abilities. You permanently have all 3 abilities up. It's a piece of cake. Makes any GM significantly easier. As far as mods go, I'm going with a kinetic siphon and a kinetic loader. You'll see why when I get to my weapons in a moment. But main things you're going to want to run are going to be an arc resistance and a solar resistance, specifically for the strike, a scavenger for whatever your heavy ammo weapon is, and then a heavy ammo finder and scout to try and counteract a little bit of that famine modifier. Now, as far as weapons go, like I said, this is a barrier and unstopped strike. So you're going to see me, you're going to have 2 options. Whenever it comes to unstoppables and strikes, generally speaking, I think it's a bit unnecessary to have all 3 players on the team run unstop. You're typically okay with just 2 of them running it. So you're going to see that my teammate TJ, who is on the Hunter, has the Vantage Point Pulse Rifle, which with Unstoppable Pulse Rifle is going to stun the Unstoppable champions. And then my teammate Dusty is also running Unstop Pulse as well. So I feel like it's a bit unnecessary for me to also run an Unstoppable Pulse Rifle, which is why I'm going with the new breech-loaded grenade launcher Velocity Baron, which alongside concussive reload is going to weaken champions and bosses. It's just going to make our general it's going to make it easier. There's a lot of tanky mobs in here, so being able to debuff them constantly with this area denial GL is going to make things go a little bit faster. And as long as you're running Overload Breach Loaded Grenade Launcher, you don't have to worry about the fact that elementally this does not align with a Surge, because this is going to give it a 25% damage buff due to the Overcharged Weapons modifier, which is always active no matter what week you're on. So you don't really need to care that you're using a Void weapon on an Arc week. Doesn't really matter. Wish Ender on all 3 members for the anti-barrier champions. This weapon's just spectacular, especially in a strike with Famine. Having a really hard-hitting weapon that doesn't have to worry about ammo drops is really, really nice. And then for the heavy weapon, just go with whatever you like. I typically like going a burst weapon that aligns with one of the weekly surges. So right now it's Stasis or Arc. So I'd like a Stasis or Arc grenade launcher or rocket launcher. And then if you're on a Stasis and Void week, you can go a Void rocket or a Void grenade launcher, up to you. As far as my other 2 teammates, I think bringing an Orpheus Rig Prismatic Hunter to the table is going to be incredible I think tether spam is awesome for this battleground just because there's really high enemy density. So the deadfall shadow shot tether is really nice for clumping it all together and just absolutely slaying out. Orpheus rig obviously giving you 50% of your super back, or up to 50% of your super back. Likely in this battleground, you're always going to get 50% back. So just constantly having tether available is going to be really, really, really amazing for getting through this a little bit more quickly. And then Dusty's pulling up on the Titan. If it's an Arc Surge week, I recommend bringing Prismatic Titan with Thunder Crash. If it's a Void Surge week, I'd recommend swapping this out for Twilight Arsenal. No matter what, though, you're going to want to go the typical Frenzied Blade, Shackle Grenade for unstop stuns, and then Knockout Consecration for the triple Napalm Strike, Carpet Bomb, along with the Frenzied Blade. And then you can just copy the same fragments he has here. Notable ones here, in my opinion, are Dawn, Protection, and Purpose. You could sneak Solitude in here somewhere as well for a 40% enemy damage debuff whenever you continuously hit enemies, but that's up to you. So, with those builds set up, we're going to get right into Grandmaster Battleground Behemoth and show you exactly where to stand, how you want to run it, what you want to do, and all that good stuff. While we're flying in, I do want to mention, if you're lacking teammates to run this with, highly recommend joining the Discord server linked in the description below. We got an LFG channel in there, and you'll be able to find 2 teammates that have already seen this video, so you don't have to roll the dice with typical LFG. You're going to have people that already know the strategies, know what builds to run, and in my opinion, we got a really nice community, so you're probably some friendly folks as well. Going to be understanding if you make a small mistake, if you die, not going to instantly leave or instantly kick you, because we don't mess with that stuff. Alternatively, I do Grandmaster Nightfall carries pretty frequently on my stream, twitch.tv/Mactics, so you can stop by maybe and run it with me. And yeah, would love to see you. So, right when you enter into the strike, if it lets us in, there's going to be a Thresher right away that you want to put to bed immediately. So all 3 of us are just going to focus completely on this Thresher and take it out with, you know, whatever weapons we have. Be careful of its heat-seeking missiles. That's why you focus the Thresher. That thing is lethal. So take that out right away. Hopefully we'll get revived in a moment. Not sure what my teammates are doing right now. I think they didn't realize that I was dead. But yeah, take out that Thresher instantly. That thing is going to absolutely smoke you if you don't. And then you can go ahead and continue. We're just going to play this piece of cover right here. Got a Barrier Colossus on the right that we're going to chip away at pretty much immediately. Any Bane targets are going to be what you're going to follow up against then after that. And then just using the Wish Ender from range. If you're the player that brought the Area Denial Grenade Launcher, sprinkling that in a little bit to try and weaken any of the enemies. I don't have any unstops, so I'm going to wait for my teammates to go ahead and take care of him. And we're going to continue to work through all these champions. Wish Ender on the Barrier Hobgoblin. And then generally speaking, I like to kind of hang out on the more right side of the arena as we push up slowly. Got to be very, very careful about going deep into the arena because these Cabal Meteors that fly in to spawn the enemies will obviously one-shot you if they land right on top of you. So you want to make sure you're avoiding playing up close and personal and aggressive, because more likely than not, if you do, you're just going to get crushed by one of those Cabal Meteors that flies in to spawn in enemies. The only time you're going to have to push up is when you kill these tanky Scions. They're going to drop the artifacts that you need. You need 3 in total to get through this area. So we are going to have to push up a little bit when we kill the Scion so we can pick up the little thing it drops. And then once you pick it up, you can go ahead and double back. You'll notice that there's some heavy crates as well. There was one at the very beginning of the map, and there's one kind of right around there. I'll show you in a bit. Unlike the heavy ammo crate that you might be used to in something like Heist Battleground Moon, for example, which fully refills all of your ammo, heavy and special alike, these heavy ammo crates in this particular battleground, unfortunately, only give you, like, at least for my GL, I think they were giving me 4 shots in my GL. So do not spam every single bullet of heavy that you have thinking that you're going to get a full heavy refill when you pick up that crate. It's very, very minimal, unfortunately. It'd be nice if they fully refilled your heavy ammo, considering that we have famine, but they don't. So, it sucks, but just gotta deal with it. So, continuing to kill everything. It's gonna have a large, tanky, non-champion Colossus. Spawn eventually, take him out. Make sure you're being diligent to take out the snipers as well. The snipers hurt a great deal. And then we have our tanky Scion. This is gonna be Scion number 2 to drop that small pickup that we need to grab to continue to progress this section. And then once we pick this up, we are going to start having enemies spawn on this ridge, and eventually we're going to get another Thresher that is going to spawn. Similar to the first Thresher, we want to make sure that we immediately take out this Thresher, because the Threshers are going to basically, yep. I love those. Those are very fun. That's a good time. Just rain down missiles on us. Super fun. Apparently it just left. I think it's gonna double back though. In our trial run of this, we definitely killed a Thresher. It was kind of hovering up on this hill. Yeah, there it is. So it looks like it comes by for a little sweep, a little carpet bomb run, and then it leaves, I suppose. I don't know. I'm trying to get this barrier Colossus because I didn't want it to heal. Now we're gonna go back and turn our attention to the Thresher. Took out Dusty. We'll get him back up though. These Threshers on Grandmaster are absolutely lethal. So, teammate will go ahead and unstop stun this guy. Throw down the Velocity Baron to get that debuff on him. Dusty died again. Oh. I wonder how Dusty died, guys. Anyone have any ideas? Guess in the comments how Dusty died right there. Truly a mystery. But continuing playing from this area right here where we killed the previous packs of enemies. Gonna keep on slaying everything. Let everything continue to spawn in. Don't want to push up too far. This is just a situation where it's just a lot of enemies. You gotta chip away at all of them. Gonna try and get my Velocity Baron. Perfect time for the tether. Basically gonna try and use that tether as much as humanly possible, just because that Orpheus rig is gonna bring so much of that energy back. I'd imagine TJ probably instantly got back to 50%. And then you add in all of the super energy that he's gonna be getting from kills, plus Wish Ender hits, which Wish Ender on its own is gonna give a ridiculous amount of super energy. He's gonna be back on that tether in no time. This intro area is very long, by the way. It feels very long, rather. We're about 6 minutes in. Apparently, we killed the final Scion, so there's that third artifact. And once you get that third artifact, you're just going to run over here, interact with this little console, and then you are all set to move on to the next area, and what so happens to be the final area, actually. There's really only 2 areas to this battleground, and you just kind of spend a lot of time in both of them. So, we're going to pull out our Sparrow / Skimmer, and you're going to go along a long way here. Nothing super eventful happening. Perfect time for me to ask that if you're enjoying the guide video right now, leave a like on it, and maybe even consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already, so you can catch future Grandmaster Nightfall guide videos. Up to you. So, we're going to scooter on over here. You'll notice this is the beginning of the Proving Ground strike. And we're effectively killing Cabal. You see that Cabal defeated is at 0%. We're just kind of killing Cabal until we get that to 100%. That's going to spawn in a tanky Cabal enemy, kill the tanky Cabal enemy, and that's going to drop a explosive that we can pick up. Got to throw the explosive at these little engines here. Do that 3 times. And I kind of like playing back a little bit. I avoid going up on this high ground because I notice when you go on the high ground, there's like these artillery heat-seeking laser beams that come after you. So you do kind of have to play the low ground a little bit back here, sadly. Can't get that Revenge of the Sith high ground like you'd want to. So we're just going to work our way through all these enemies so we can get a more favorable angle. The marked enemy is, of course, going to be the one that's going to drop the core for us. And he's a meteor's enemy, too. Which is a fun time. I'll get the healing turret down. These guys are very tanky, by the way, as well, so feel free to use some heavy on them. And, says I died to a Scion killed by the Architect, so I don't know exactly what happened there. You can see his dead body over there. He's glowing. It says that guy over there killed me somehow. I don't know. Rough run for me, apparently. But anyway. Secret Service Scion. My teammates picked up the core that the tanky enemy dropped, threw it at... Oh, God. Yeah, I'm playing very, very poorly. I apologize. This is not good eats for the guide. But wave number 2. I mean, you know, learn from my mistakes, I suppose, right? I'm getting way too up close and personal with where the enemy spawn positions are. The enemies are always going to spawn on top of the engine areas, like the things that you have to blow up. So as you can see, that glowing orange thing right there, kind of right where my revive is. So TJ's going to get me up. We'll be okay. Or Dusty's going to get me up, rather. Just keep your eye out for the ships, because anytime the ships show up, that's when some new enemies are going to show up. The Centurions are particularly dangerous. Their Bronto cannons are a little bit rough, but we'll be okay. Playing back in this area, I've been playing a little bit too aggressive. More aggressive than I should be. This area back here is definitely the best place to be from a safety perspective. I'm actually going to take out these legionaries right here before I turn my attention to the tanky enemy, because I don't want them to get a nasty angle on me. And I'll go ahead and pick up the core. And then you'll, as you can see right here, just throw it right at those tankers right there. So we'll hang out on this platform. This platform right here is probably, to be completely honest, the absolute best place to hang out. Just because you're afforded, you get a little bit of high ground, plus you're not really going to have any enemies spawn on you. And if they do, they spawn right in front of you. You're not going to get flanked. This is probably the best place that you can play from. You have this big rock right here as a big piece of cover. And hop up here if you want to. Yeah, play this area. Holy. I didn't realize you could come all the way up here. Wait, this is kind of OP. So you can't play over there in that area with the big red, like, cables and whatnot. But can play up top right there. I'll get a finisher on this Unstoppable. And then we have another Unstoppable that I can get a finisher on. And when you're in this section, by the way, after you kill the third tanky enemy that's going to drop the third power cell, do not immediately pick up the third power cell and throw it at the whatever you call it, throw it at the generator. You want to make sure that you kill every single champion before you destroy the third generator, because if you have any champions up, when you do destroy the third generator, the champions will immediately despawn, and then obviously that's going to take away your platinum. If you don't care about platinum, then you can go ahead and instantly destroy it, but I'm assuming that most people do care about platinum. The third tanky enemy as well, by the way, that is going to drop the third and final explosive battery, is going to be a barrier champion. Barrier Colossus. So we are going to kill the barrier Colossus. As far as I can tell, I don't see any more champions in the arena, so I think we should be good to throw this and still get platinum. And then once you blow that up, you're going to spawn in the boss. Boss is gonna, or you're gonna spawn down the little station that is gonna spawn in the boss. What's nice about that little station too is when you interact with it, you get full super. It's kind of nice. Similar to how we previously played, I like just kind of hanging out very, very far back, chipping away at everything, playing high ground, taking out any Bane enemies, especially the Drain ones. The Drain enemies are by far the worst Banes. They are such a pain. Where we're just going to plink away at all of the ads from a distance. This is why we really love Wish Ender, is just max range, infinite ammo, really nice, really safe. And then once all the enemies are dead, if you'd like to, you got to be a little careful because his he's got like his rapid fire Legend of Acreus basically. There's a Scion behind me. I saw on my radar. Got to be a little careful because he is going to hurt. You're also going to occasionally have dropships bring in enemies that will be a little bit behind you. So just keep an eye out for anything that spawns. Once you kill the ads, you can go ahead and push up a little bit more and focus on boss damage. And before you rip off any heavy ammo, try and proc that shot caller if you can. Rapid precision hits from primary ammo. I've got it for... Looks like the name of it's not even appearing. I do believe it stacks with Radiant as well, if I'm not mistaken, back from the Pantheon days, but not 100% sure. Got some more ads spawning in behind us. Thankfully, you do have radar in this strike, so shouldn't be too big of an issue. Once you get the boss to 2/3 HP, he's going to spawn in these two champions, this Barrier Colossus and that Unstoppable Incendiar. So just as before, we're going to flank away at them from a distance. Taking out the Barrier Colossus first, because he's the much more threatening one from range. And then we can try and walk up a little bit and attempt to bait in the Unstoppable. Pepper in some of the area denial GL to weaken him, so that our follow-up grenade launcher shots do a little bit more damage, finish him off. And you're going to get a lot of waves of enemies that spawn in here. They're not infinite, though, thankfully. There's a lot, but they are not infinite. So you just got to take your time, especially those Scion Snipers. Be really diligent taking out those Scion Snipers. Just going to work your way up this hill. Slowly but surely. Then eventually, once we kill everything, we can get back to taking out the boss. Get that healing turret down. Sprinkle in a little bit of heavy ammo. I should have had shot caller proc before I did that, to be honest. And then, same as before, whenever you see these drop ships fly in, we're going to back it up a little bit to take care of the ads that they spawn. Once those ads are taken care of, we can go ahead and push back up. Deal with the boss again. Got more ads. Decent amount of ads, actually. And as the Benevolence Warlock, my focus is just continuously throwing down healing turrets for my teammates. Once you get the boss to 50% HP on the dot, he is going to bring in a Dome Shield and some more ads. So we're going to focus on the ads first, as usual. Looks like we got a couple dogs spawning in right here. A couple gladiators. That dog just teleported right on top of us. That was neat. Keep the healing turret down. Back up as far as you need to, by the way. There is no limit to how far you can back up. Do not play too aggressive where you're fighting a war on two fronts. We're going to take it nice and slow. Snipers first as well, if you can spot them out. Typically, they're not that difficult to spot out. Gonna have this big Colossus right here. It's got meteors. You gotta bait the meteors into the ground to the best of my ability. And that should be everything from that wave. I saw one thing, a couple enemies flying from back there. But mostly everything. Saw a Scion flying over there. So we'll push up a little bit to bait these enemies into... Unfortunately, can't kill this guy until he comes out of the Dome Shield. Now we can. And once we have pretty much everything cleared out, I like just kind of using this piece of, this little rock as a piece of cover. Makes it pretty hard for the boss to land a shot on me. And then we can kill that shield generator to make the boss a little bit more easy to damage. Then gonna get some more ad spawns. There's a lot of ads in this boss fight. Scion snipers. Let's get that healing grenade down. I'm trying to work up to get Dusty up. Thankfully, not a crazy amount of ads that spawned right there. Gotta be really careful with this boss. He hurts big time. Do not underestimate that shotgun of his. And once again, be very careful about pushing up, because you don't want to get smoked by a meteor. Don't want to get flanked by a bunch of ads. So like right now, got a ton of ads spawning on us, so we're backing up again. And looks like we're pretty good. So, down to 1/3 HP, sorry. He is now going to retreat into that kind of back area. Dusty going for a Thunder Crash on the double unstop. That was some nice setup right there. I think I got him killed, though, because I blew up the unstops on him, but that's okay. We'll get him back up. Gonna have some... I don't know if that Scion spawned behind us or if he just ran behind us and no one picked him up. I don't really know. I'm just gonna focus on getting Dusty up. And then I'm gonna pop on over right here. Same area I love to play during Proving Grounds. Love playing this area right here. Pretty much nothing can kill you. I'm trying to kill this Drain enemy. Those Drain enemies are the absolute worst. I'm even willing to use some heavy on the Drain enemy. Yikes! I'm not even kidding. The Drain Bane enemies are probably hard. They're harder than probably any champion in the game. So I love playing this angle, though. Nice and easy. And then, it's just us and the boss. Be very careful about playing. You don't want to play too far back when the boss is... This is why I like this angle, too. Is because now you're going to have enemies spawn all the way down there in those Cabal drop pods. And getting squished by one of those really, really sucks. So all the more reason to play all the way back here. Whittle them down a little bit more. You are going to have enemies that spawn out of this door. And once you give him to 50% HP, similar to before, he's going to put down another Dome Shield, and you're going to get a ridiculous amount of ads. But as long as you maintain play in this corner right here, you're completely good to go. There's another use of that tether, which is going to be really nice here. Get down that healing turret for my teammates. Yeah, you got a lot of tanky Centurions. Those Bronto cannons really, really hurt. Dusty's taking a different angle on the enemies. Try and get the Hellion back up. Sprinkle in the Velocity Baton. And we're just going to kill every single trash mob. Some of them we're not going to be able to get, unfortunately, because they like to stay inside the dome. Got to be careful being out in this area. As you just saw, a little drop pod landed right there. I think what I'll probably do is I'll probably pop my Song of Flame. And then once we got that thing destroyed, I'm immediately going to book it back to our safety area. Might be able to even finish off the boss if I just lob some heavy. And yeah, there we go. This area is the key, and in that final third of health, that area right there is the key to nuking the boss. So I think we had about a 22-minute run. Realistically, if you take out the commentary and whatnot, and you take out our over-aggressive deaths, probably sub 20-minute runs. You guys can get through this pretty quickly. Basically, first 2/3 of the boss's health, stay about as far back as you can, be very diligent with the ads. For the final third of his health, work your way around, get to this section, Very, very solid. And then for getting the 3 engines destroyed, you're going to want to sit up in that top area, kind of basically right where you spawn in for the Proving Ground strike is going to work best for you. So, hope this video helped. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you want to see future GM Guide videos. And as always, have a great day.